Sean. This is Dave's Secret Stash, Episode 2. We're going to be introducing the Mesa Dual Rectifier Rect-o-verb 25 and the Mesa Mini Rec Single Rectifier and some Mesa pedals for you. And I'm here with Phil. He's going to be doing our demonstration today with the Noctambulant.
That's right. I'm going to be playing through a LTD EC1000 with lace pickups. So I think first we're just going to try out the different settings of the amps, the different channels, just to hear what they sound like, and then we can move on to the pedals. So first we're going to be going through the dual Rect-o-verb through an EVH 412 cabinet. As you see right off the bat, it's got a really nice clean sound. Right off the bat, you can hear the difference between the clean and the lead tones. The clean has a really nice clean to it, which is very distinct to the Mesas. Mesas automatically, they're really known for their gain, but the Mesa clean is a really good point to them. Of course, we're running everything dry, so at this point, you can hear the clean channels have a good response and really good clarity, whereas the lead has that, again, that famous Mesa crunch.
Just the crunch behind it.
Right. So let's move on to the Mesa Mini Rectifier. So the first one is again, we're doing this on the bridge pickup. First one's going to be a little more of a light overdrive. So that's that. Really, it's a nice overdrive.
That's a nice. Well, the difference between the clean that you had on the dual rec and the one on there is that whenever we were setting them up, we've got a different way that you can go and do it. Like this one right here for the clean, we're running 25 watts on the clean spread, and then for the dirty channel, we're running the modern. That's where you get that real good crunch, like a Willie Adler and
Behemoth.
Yes.
The Mini Rec, with that clean, actually had the pushed option. Some of the Mesas will have a push for the clean, which is basically like it's a boost.
Yeah, it kind of gives it more of a bluesy kind of taste to the amp, instead of just that plain clean sound.
And then we go to the other channel. That's where you would get your more, I think, 90s. 80s,
yeah,
90s
it's kind of like a grunge rock or maybe a late 80s hair metal sound. Yeah. It's still got good overdrive. It doesn't get real muddy in the distortion tone, but it's definitely a more vintage sound for Mesa.
Yeah.
It kind of like reminds me of like what Carlos Santana would do with his push tones, and whenever he would dirty it up a little bit with his king snake.
More like the Mark 1s.
Yes.
Yeah. So this So that's a good example of some classic rock.
Oh yes.
So there you go.
It's got a great blues tone to it too for that mini rec.
Yep.
All right. Well, Phil, let's try out some of the pedals here with the mini rec with the 91 every single coil Stratocaster there that you have.
Yep. Let's do first with the Mesa Flux-Drive. This is nice. It provides a good overdrive from your classic clean boost to more of what you would expect from a standard overdrive pedal. I won't say any other brands, but
yeah.
Got a nice twang to it. That's a good bit of sustain.
It does have good sustain.
The thing I like about this, it doesn't color the sound of the guitar. I mean, when you're playing a Telecaster, or a Stratocaster in this case, you want to hear you're playing a Strat.
Right.
You don't want to hear the pedal, which is why I like the Flux-Drive a lot. You can actually hear that.
Yeah, it brings out that classic tone that you're used to from like the 50s rock into the early 60s, and even some of that more modern country sound.
Yep. Alright, so again, the Flux-Drive has got a lot of, again, it's got your standard level, gain, bass, treble. We've got the level set about 11 o'clock, gain dimed all the way, and that'll give you a nice, this would be more for a lead boost, so. Something like that. Moving on, we've got the Grid Slammer.
Yes, the Grid Slammer. It's another overdrive, but it's just got a little bit more meat to it. It's definitely just kind of all gain. It's not as versatile as the Flux-Drive, but here we go.
All right. Again, I'll do that same. In honor of Little Johnny Cash. You can hear it doesn't have quite the edge. It's got a little more tone. Again, I think the Flux-Drive may be a little more versatile, but the Grid Slammer, that's one you can put it in front of your amp, and you can use it for a clean boost. You can use it for a lead boost, and that's exactly what you would want to use it for.
And I noticed that with that one, the tones were a little bit deeper on that one than they were with the Flux-Drive. They were a little bit darker, but still very crisp.
Yeah. Then we've got next is
the Tone-Burst. 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 Now this one is kind of more of like a tube screamer type pedal.
So.
Very nice, very nice.
Good. You know, a lot of these have similarities, and there's real subtle differences between the three. I don't think this one had quite as dark a tone. It seemed a little lighter.
Yes. This one was definitely one of those. It's almost like it says Tone-Burst, but it almost reminds me of like a old treble booster.
Yeah. This isn't these aren't overdrive pedals that you would stick in front of a clean solid state amp to get an overdrive sound. This is you put these in front of a tube amp to push the tubes and to get that breakup that you'd want.
Right, and to get that, just to kind of enhance that clean sound that you're wanting out of that clean channel.
Yes.
All right, here we are. We've switched over to a 62 reissue Gibson Les Paul Custom. We're going to run through two more pedals. We have a throttle box, just a regular standard one. It's got your level, your gain, your mid-cut, and your tone. And then we're going to run through another throttle box that's on steroids that has a 5-band EQ and a high cut and a low cut on the EQ.
Yeah. Basically, I'm just going to run through 3 riffs. Each time, I'll just hit to the next channel on the pedal. First, we're starting with the throttle box.
you have it. That's 2 different throttle boxes running through the Mesa Dual Rec on the clean channel.
Well, I want to thank Crazy Dave's for having us out. Stay metal.
Awesome.